We saw your sign says destroy Hamas.
Right. That's what I believe and support, the end of terrorist organizations. And the idea that October 7th happens and then all of a sudden keffiyehs are all the rage and the Palestinian flag is all the rage is beyond disgusting. I mean, it's one thing that that's a symbol, but literally October 8th and on, this is now some cool symbol, and it is disgusting. If anyone gives a second's thought as to how and when that began, and it begins with the murder, kidnapping, raping, murdering of babies, burning of babies alive, and the terrorizing of communities. So I wanted to say something in response. You know, as most of these type of groups, it's just people who are bullies and being bullied, and if they disagree, they would be very unwelcome. But that's no different than so many groups.
You mentioned October 7th, but what about, I wanted to bring up, what about from 1948 to October 7th, all the history you're leaving out? What about that? What is your comments on that?
Well, this war began on October 7th, so I'm not going to comment on the previous history, which is an ongoing battles and wars, and there's a whole history there. Palestinians had numerous chances to have a state, and they rejected it starting in 1948, and Israel pretty much gave up and is making diplomatic relations with many Arab nations and Muslim nations, and they were about to do so with Saudi Arabia. And the terrorists in Gaza understood this and said, uh-oh, we're not getting the attention we need. We need to do something drastic. And it's worked. And it's worked because the world has let it work. Instead of saying, no, we're going to go forward and make peace with other Arab countries, and we're going to ignore what's happened here, not give these children the attention they desperately need. Well, that's too late now, but they need some pushback, and that's what I'm doing.
But what about the open air prison? You're overlooking that, and you're overlooking a lot of the history. You're just focusing on October 7th. You're not looking at what the cause
Israel
of
gave back Gaza. That the fact that they call it an open air prison because they spend their time creating, developing, and I heard a woman say they even advertise $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, she said, for giving their own children to be suicide bombers and then getting paid for that. So their focus is on death and destruction. They build tunnels for that purpose with much of the money they're given from the West. So they've made it what they've made it. And karma has arrived.
What's the website link on your?
It's the LeviteLine.com.
What is that?
That's my website, and it explains various issues about the history of the Levites. Often they refer to the region as the Levant because the Levites need to take over, but in a fair way, and that's what I believe in. And I believe in justice for Palestine, and I believe they're getting justice for electing terrorists and supporting terrorists. And we're not fooled then when you say one thing here and really understand that when non-Muslims are there, you're saying what you really think and feel and want.
Israel is committing war crimes according to UN. What do you have to say about that?
Well, if they're committing war crimes, then they will maybe need to be held accountable.
Genocide. It's not even a question.
Well,
it's not even
throw
genocide.
that word around. There's nothing close to a genocide. Okay, the way I understand genocide from the Nazis would be murdering people on a daily basis. Simply for that. This is not even close to what they're happening. It's happening, but that's because Hamas hides there, and you know it, and I know it. and that's their game. And then they want to say, "Ah, see, they destroyed schools. How horrible!" Well, it ain't gonna work with me.